What happened to the Nazis' gold? In the 12 years that they were in power, the Nazi Party inherited, amassed, and stole a huge amount of gold. As the nation's capital, Berlin was home to the Reichsbank, the imperial bank, the vaults of which stored the nation's gold reserves. Under the Nazis, the Reichsbank was extended, demolishing a huge part of historic medieval Berlin to create the Reichsbank's Erweiterungsgebäude, or the Imperial Bank Extension Building. As the Nazis then started to invade all of their neighbors and imprison millions of people and send them to their deaths in concentration camps, they stole their belongings. They stole their jewelry. They stole gold. They stole their false teeth. And they had a company called Degussa melt all of these things down into standard gold bars, a huge amount of which was stored right here. As the war neared its end, the head of the bank decided that it was probably a good idea to get this stuff out. What if there was going to be a last stand somewhere else? How would they keep funding the war if the Soviets had all of their money? And so trucks were loaded up with all of this gold and jewelry and art and looted art from across the continent and taken to a mine in the present-day state of Thuringia, a place called Merkers. There it was hidden in the mine, and locals noticed a lot of stuff going in and not a lot of stuff coming out. And so when the Americans arrived there at the beginning of April 45, they said, you might want to take a look in there. And wow, what did they find? 8,198 gold bars, 711 bags of gold, and a whole bunch of looted art and crushed watches, and even some of the artifacts from Berlin's Museum Island. And the decision was made to take it out of what was going to become the Soviet occupation zone and stick it in the American occupation zone and begin the laborious task of returning the stolen goods to those who owned it. 10% of the gold thereabouts was never accounted for. By the time we got to the 1990s, after German reunification, well, it turns out that quite a lot of the people who had once owned this stuff were simply dead. It was never going to be claimed. And so donations were made from the German government to organizations that worked with Holocaust survivors. As for the Reichsbank's Erweiterungsgebäude, it became a very important government building in East Germany, the head of the Central Committee. This is where the country was really run. And today it forms a large part of the modern-day German foreign ministry.